in Homestead, where the curfew begins at 11 p.m., or at least it did tonight. And, of course, that will be lifted at 7 a.m. tomorrow. And 70 people arrested for violating last night's curfew. Also, $10 million in federal funds were announced today by President Bush to help provide cleanup jobs for people. So $10 million in federal funds are going to be used to help provide jobs so people can at least make some money and perhaps help put their lives back together after this devastating hurricane.
You'll remember that yesterday President Bush announced $50 million in emergency relief funds, too. In addition to that, he also traveled to Lafayette, Louisiana today, where he announced that the folks there will be receiving $77 million for emergency relief work in the state and another $10 million for cleanup. And believe me, I'm sure it's going to be well received by the folks there. What I want the folks upstairs to do is try to get some distribution centers ready for us that we'll be able to announce in just a moment, because we've had so many calls from people who are saying they're not being able to get the aid. So let us have that ready so we can tell the folks where the food is, that they can be ready and go and get that tomorrow. Meantime, let us have an update on some of the stories that we've been talking about. Let's update those. One of which is the story about the monkeys, the dozens of monkeys freed from a lab by Hurricane Andrew. You can see them running wild here. Here's the story on it, and I want to clear up a lot of confusion because people are extremely afraid of these creatures. Dozens of monkeys freed from the lab by Hurricane Andrew roamed the streets, worrying people who feared they carried AIDS. A lab official said today there was no threat to humans. 2 baboons also loose in a federal prison compound. It wasn't clear where they came from, but about 330 rhesus monkeys had been housed in an outside caging at the University of Miami's Primate Research Lab in Perrine. Now, the storm destroyed the caging, killed about 30 monkeys, and the other monkeys roamed the lab compound. 50 more were missing on Wednesday. Now, the rhesus monkeys will not attack people, according to these officials, and although some were used in AIDS research, and this is important here, they claim they are not infected with the deadly virus. And officials are really concerned because some people are actually shooting the animals, and the officials say there's absolutely no reason to do that. Please don't do that. If you spot these animals, do not go near them. They are wild animals. I'm sure they can be dangerous, but they are more afraid of us than we are of them. And the folks at the University of Miami say, please try to get in touch with them, tell them where you saw these monkeys, and then go ahead and have the University of Miami officials come out and corral them.
And right now, we understand that reporter Dave Bloom is standing by live in Homestead with some of the National Guard's troops down there to give us an update. Dave, what can you tell us tonight?
Well, Tom, we wanted to bring you these 3 National Guardsmen. Now, these guys are with the Special Forces 20th Group out of Fort Lauderdale. They want me to say that. And they just have some, messages about how dire the straits are down here. This is Captain Gary Robeson. Captain, you've been here ever since the storm hit. Tell us about what you've seen and what you think needs to be done down here.
Well, that is correct. We were notified the day before the storm to pack our bags, be ready to go. We got down here Monday after the storm and just got here to total devastation. What we really need, what we'd like to request upon the public is at this time to rally and get together. Non-perishable foods, water, juices. There are a lot of babies that need diapers.
And you guys have seen this stuff firsthand. I mean,
oh yes, we have. We've been very active in handling the supplies that have come in, getting them to the local authorities, Red Cross, and so forth. There are places set up where the food can be prepared and issued out accordingly to the people in need.
Let me talk to all 3 of you because I know you guys are busy. Lieutenant Otto Padron, and I know you guys are all South Florida, boys, so to speak, and so this really hits home. What have you seen down here that's really touched your heart, Lieutenant?
Well, the babies, because I'm a father myself, and just looking at the mothers, the desperation look in their face because they have no diapers or baby wipes or formula for their kids really hits my heart because I have a kid at home, and right as I was being called up, I just had to look at my wife and say, hey, take care of our kid because that's all we have, and that really hits my heart.
Okay, let me talk to the last one here, Corporal Alvio Dominguez. Corporal, tell us about, I know that a lot of people see your mission down here as providing security, making sure that the looting is kept to a minimum, but you guys are doing a lot more than that, right?
Well, we're pulling security and helping distribute the food, and we're basically doing our job. know, we like doing it.
And you guys have been working. I know you were telling me that you haven't gotten any sleep. You're sleeping in a dark room someplace.
Well, we're sleeping under the roof of the mall over there that we're protecting. About 24-hour shifts, basically. Take a little cat nap here and there if we can.
Okay, thank you, all three of you guys. You know, the National Guard, it's a lot of hard work that's being done down here by guys like this and by men and women who are trying to make the best of a really bad situation down here. If you've only seen the videotape that we've shown, if we've tried as best as we can to convey the urgency of the situation and just how much destruction is down here, but I swear to you, unless you're here, you cannot fathom what it's like.
David, what about these men's families? Have you had a chance to be in touch with their families at all and know how they're doing?
Good question. I mean, have you guys talked to your families at all? I mean, I know that I'm having a hard time talking to my wife. The phones are out. How about you guys?
Yes, we have had brief contact with them, and just to let them know that we're okay, and we've asked them to try to get things together. Since we were very fortunate, I'm from West Palm Beach, and we basically got a lot of rain and wind, and we were very thankful to breathe out of this one, uncompared to Homestead, and that's been it. But you know, just to talk and to try to get them to get things together, and you know, get supplies down here. It's very needed.
What about you, Lieutenant? I mean, have you said you have a wife, you have children. Have you been able to let them know how bad it really is down here?
Yeah, I've been fortunate. We in our patrolling maneuvers, we've come upon working phones, and we take that opportunity, and we make calls home, and that's how I kept in contact with my family.
Okay, very good. So I mean, obviously, these are three guys who have a life of their own, and they've sort of set it aside to try to help the lives that these people have down here get back in order.
Well, we certainly appreciate it, David. One question before you go, and I don't know if you can answer it, but obviously the National Guard and police and the highway patrol troopers and everyone else are moving through some very dangerous areas in terms of the debris and so forth. Have there been any injuries that you know of to National Guardsmen?
Have any of your fellow troops, any guardsmen, gotten hurt down here on this mission? I mean, what do you...
Just minor accidents. There's a lot of debris out. Maybe you stepping on nails, getting cut in glass. You know, the structures are very much demolished, and when we're moving through there, it's hard not to brush against something, but nothing due to violent acts or anything like that, more or less just accidents. So.
Okay, that's Captain Gary Robeson. I will say this, though, Tom. I mean, the captain says nothing due to violent acts, but we know there's been a lot of looting down here, and some of the things that have been hit are gun shops. So these guys, they have these weapons here, not for show. I mean, it can be dangerous down here, and they're doing their best to maintain the security.
All right, David Bloom, it sounds like you need to rest your voice just a little bit, too.
Me and Brian both.
Okay,
right?
Thanks, David.
Time right now is 11:10. You're watching Channel 4. I'm Kelly Craig along with Tom Randalls. We're going to take a short break and be right back with you. Stay with us.
You've seen the pictures of devastation. You know people are homeless. You know people are hungry. Now, here's your chance to help. Do you have hurricane supplies that you didn't use? Channel 4 News and Y100 will be collecting your unused supplies at these locations and taking them to South Floridians hit hardest by the storm. Bring what you can. Bring all you can, especially water and food. And to find out about other ways that you can help, stay with us. Channel 4 News.
Take a good look at Lincoln Mercury.
Take a good look at some great values now. Savings like this on Mercury Sable and Mercury Grand Marquis, both equipped with available dual airbags and ABS brakes. Or save on Lincoln Town Car with dual airbags and ABS brakes standard. Savings all before you make your best deal.
Take a good look. We've got your new car ready. Take a good look at Lincoln Mercury.
Jeans, pose, and your kids' rough clothes. Baby, let's go where the prices are low. To the biggest bookstore there is. However you dress, you can do it for less. Yes, change into a kids' rough kid. Buy one pair of jeans, know what you get. A second pair for half, our best bet yet. A second pair of jeans, isn't that nice? Any size or color, second pairs half
You told us it helps, so we're keeping at it. We're rolling up our sleeves and rolling back prices on hundreds more items at Walmart.
Roll back America.
Slick 50 engine treatment was $23.94, now $18.87. SOS soap pads were $178, now $127.
Roll back America.
We're really rolling now at Walmart.
Roll back America.
Always the low price, always.
Mitsubishi presents a luxury lease program whose greatest luxury is choice. The elegant Diamante LS, the sensational 3000 GTSL, the rugged Montero SR. Your choice, just $399 a month for 36 months. Difficult choice, easy terms, with a luxury lease from Mitsubishi. Make your choice at your Dave Broward Mitsubishi Motors dealer today.
Welcome back to our continuing coverage of Hurricane Andrew. The aftermath time right now is 11:13. You're watching Channel 4 WTVJ and listening to us, of course, on Y100, our simulcast.
You know, the stories of survival coming out of Hurricane Andrew are absolutely phenomenal. One of the most poignant was what happened to Camille Giraldi. Now, if that name sounds familiar to you, it should. She is a woman who lives in South Dade, and she runs what's called the Up with Downs Foundation. Here is a woman who, along with her husband, who is a physician, has taken in or adopted up to 26 children with Down syndrome. And she and her husband facilitate these children. They treat them as their own, and they nurture these children into adulthood. At any rate, her house was hit very strongly. And wait till you hear the story. Here's Susan Wallace, who spent the day with Camille Giraldi.
A hurricane in Miami goes swish, 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 swish. The hurricane in Miami goes swish, 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 all through Miami.
The kids are all piled in front of the only working fan. They've been singing for 3 days. Outside the Giraldi's Kendall home, complete strangers appear with supplies.
We got everything we could out of the office. We were looking for an area that looked like it was hid. We were at another development over here doing a couple of helping them with some roofs, and a lady over there pointed this place out and gave us directions, so we decided to bring all the food stores here because they didn't need anything really over there.
In the center of all this, Camille Giraldi, adoptive mother of 24 needy kids. She's trying to hold it together.
I'm shocked. I mean, this just all happened in the last 10 minutes. It's shocking to me.
People just show up?
Actually, Noelle and Rich, her husband, I saw them at my class reunion a year ago, and I never have heard from them since then, or the 25 years before, and they just showed up today.
Camille, how are you doing?
Today it hit me so strong, I just can't begin to tell you. This morning when I went over and looked at everything, every day you look at it and it's like a dream. Today it was like reality, and it was everything, was blown away and gone, and it's unbelievable to me.
Camille's responsibility is massive under even the best of circumstances.
This here, no, this will not. This will get us through dinner tonight and breakfast tomorrow morning. Because, I make enough food for every night I cook for 35 to 40 people. So we're just, this will just get us. That's what I have out here right now. We have to put everything in this area because this is the only good area of the house. Everything else is starting to come in, and the walls are starting to, the ceilings are starting to come down.
You guys were in this area during the storm?
This is where we were. This just didn't shake. Everything else seemed to shake us. We have the roll-ups on all of our windows, and that really protected the house. We're sure of that. But
how did you keep these kids calm and sane at the height of the storm?
We sang through the whole storm, and it actually kept me calm, and they sang, and they didn't have any idea what was going on. The adults realized something was going on, but they just chimed right in with us, and we got through it. I was a wreck, though, but they kept me calm.
Did you at any point think that the place was going to go?
Absolutely. When the front door started to go, and we took the big cribs and all our heavy stuff to put in front of the doors, and we had 6 men holding that door, and they could barely hold it.
In the meantime, you're huddled on the couch with all this.
And I couldn't move them, because if I left from the children, they would get hysterical. The only thing that kept them calm was their mother to sit with them, and I didn't want to leave the children, and I didn't leave them.
This here too, this all fell today. This all came down today.
This came down today, so there's just water coming through?
Yeah.
Michael Giraldi shows us what Hurricane Andrew has done to their home.
Materially wise, obviously you can see the total devastation in the house. But thank God nobody was hurt.
How do you guys even begin to get back to normal at this point?
I don't know. I guess we just pick up and start carrying on. I mean, I look at ours and we know how bad it is here, so I know some other people are worse than us, but we just pick up and carry on. I have my health, and hopefully we'll get back on our feet again. And that's what we're trying to do.
Look at the pool deck. Dozens and dozens and dozens of little kids' shoes lining the deck. Out here trying to dry off all these shoes, absolutely soaked. It's going to be days before these kids can put them on. Camille's not at all fazed about that. She's letting them run around barefoot. Over here, the wheelchairs, the strollers, all of them out here drying. This thing got hit by insulation. And the ventilation machines, they are brought out here because the ceiling above them collapsed. There were 3 kids who had serious breathing problems during the storm. Those 3 kids are now at the hospital. Holding her newest son, 2-week-old Sonny, Camille tells us she's called all kinds of state agencies for help, but they've failed her so far. It is the people, total strangers, who've come to help.
And Susan tells us that, yes, a lot of offers have come in, and we're trying to get the people who call us in touch with Camille. But what she is saying is she desperately needs more food. Remember, she has about 28, 29 mouths to feed every meal. So whatever you can give, whenever you can give, if you want to keep her in mind. You also have to remember, too, that she is not very mobile at this point. As she says, those children need their mother. And it's hard for her to get out of the house, and all the other people who she's involved with are involved with the caretaking of the children. So it's hard for her to get to these distribution centers. And as she said, the state agencies are all tied up with helping other people during this disaster. So if you would like to personally help her, simply call us at the station. We'll hook you up with her. We'll give you her number. She can give you directions to her house, and I know she would greatly appreciate it.
I think earlier today, what we asked people to call in, and perhaps if they knew where to get gasoline. I think she needed some gasoline today, and people responded quite well, so hopefully that'll happen again. Right now, we want to talk about the psychological impact of this hurricane. With all of the devastation and all of the damage, the deaths, and everything else associated with Hurricane Andrew, a lot of people are having a tough time dealing with the psychological aspects of what has happened. Dr. Jeffrey Gutterman of the Community Psychiatric Center of Fort Lauderdale has established a hotline number. Dr. Gutterman, are you with us?
Yes, I am.
Okay, tell us about this hotline and why the need for a hotline.
Well, naturally, this is a tragedy that we're experiencing. And the practical issues that we're dealing with now are also occasioned by mental health problems. It's just a normal process of dealing with the stress. So CPC Fort Lauderdale Hospital, which is the Community Psychiatric Center Fort Lauderdale, has established a mental health hotline where people can call. Really, the purpose is threefold. One is if people have mental health problems and dealing with the stress, we can provide crisis intervention. We have licensed mental health professionals to do so. We're also in the process of establishing support groups for people dealing with the crisis. And we're also getting numerous calls from other mental health professionals, and this is what's very striking to me, who are offering their services at the same time. So we're taking numerous calls, and we encourage people to call. The number is 305-463-4321. So you can call us at CPC Fort Lauderdale Hospital. We're a psychiatric facility, and we have licensed mental health professionals available 24 hours a day, available to take calls for the wide spectrum of emotional challenges that people are facing in this crisis.
Gutterman, if I were to call into your hotline, and I was one of the people who were most severely affected perhaps by this storm, what are some of the things you're going to tell me to help me?
Well, first, we're going to listen. And we're going to listen to what your experience is. Based on whatever your situation is, we can then make somewhat of a determination in terms of what needs you may have in the mental health area.
Yeah. I mean, for instance, a lot of people obviously are just simply frustrated, and they have a short fuse. Your home is damaged, or perhaps you no longer have a place to work. your work is destroyed, and you're simply angry and you're frustrated about what has happened. What do you tell me?
Well, what I'll tell you is that this is quite normal, and normalization is much of what we're doing right now in our helpline. Frustration, annoyance, irritation, anger, sadness, these are all normal reactions that people have to such a devastating situation. And what we're finding often is that many of the people who are calling derive benefit simply from the reassurance that our mental health professionals are providing and assuring them that this is a normal process and it will pay us.
Well, what about diversion, doctor? Is this a time when you perhaps try to refocus people and get their minds off their troubles?
Well, you know, the most striking thing for me is the altruism that I'm noticing in the community. It's truly a breathtaking experience. Today I was on US 1 in traffic for 2.5 hours, and a woman had heat exhaustion. And literally 20 people stopped on the way asking if they could help. So, you know, I really think that some good has come out of this.
Dr. Gutterman, this is Kelly Craig here.
Hi, Kelly.
Hi. So many of my colleagues are talking about the effects this is having on their children. Their children are so frightened and so... They're unaware that something like this could have ever happened, and they're telling me that their children are waking up in the middle of the night on the hour, screaming and crying, desperately grasping for their parents. How would you advise them to kind of help their kids get through it at this point?
You know, the best advice I could give is to, one, recognize that how children react often corresponds to how the parents are reacting. So if you can try to stay calm, be reassuring and supportive, that's about the best advice I could give. And two, to just understand that children are humans. They're small human beings, and they're dealing with a crisis, perhaps not with the cognitive skills that adults may have, and they're going to manifest symptoms just as adults will.
So you would tell them to be very realistic with the children. Tell them exactly what has happened, but also reassure them and let them know that everything's going to be okay.
Children are intelligent, and they can recognize when you're trying to hide something. Yes, that's a good point, Kelly. I would be realistic and let them know that we have been through a catastrophe. But the key is, and I've heard it on your station over and over again, that you know, if we're alive, that's the important thing.
Absolutely. Dr. Gutterman, thanks for being with us.
Yeah, so let me just say again, we've had numerous calls, and I encourage people to call CPC Fort Lauderdale at 305-463-4321. It's 24 hours, and we have licensed mental health professionals on call around the clock. So if anyone has any mental health needs in terms of just any question regarding where they can get services or support groups or how they can help, just call us.
Okay, Dr. Gutterman, thanks very much. You know, sometimes it's just important to vent. And when you're around your family and you're trying to get everything done, the last thing that the people who you are around want to hear you complain and say, I can't believe this, because they're trying to deal with it too. So like Dr. Gutterman said, if you just need an ear, just to call somebody and say, this is what has happened, and just to vent and unload a little bit, I think that might make you feel better too.
You know, you made an excellent point about the kids, and as a father of two, I can tell you that, you know, kids know when you sugarcoat something.
Mm-hmm.
And perhaps, you know, in a situation like this, as Dr. Gutterman suggests, you know, telling them like it is the best way. So we thank him very much for calling, because, of course, I think a lot of people could use that hotline number and perhaps use his and his volunteers' helps. Right now, we're going to take a break. The time right now is 11:26. You're watching WTVJ Channel 4 and listening, of course, to Y100 on their simulcast, our continuing coverage of Hurricane Andrew. The aftermath continues right after this.
Car and Driver has named it to its 10 best list 4 years in a row. Now, there's a Mitsubishi Eclipse you can lease for just $500 down and as little as $149 a month. But hurry, this Eclipse will soon disappear.
Test drive the Eclipse at your Dade Broward Mitsubishi Motors dealer today.
Hurricane Andrew is gone, and as South Florida rebuilds, you can count on us to keep you informed. Stay with us. Channel 4 News.
The following is a paid political announcement.
Peter Deutsch, service that makes a difference.
Founded the Medicare Information Program, helping older Floridians, and as state representative, protected seniors against nursing home abuse and evictions.
Peter Deutsch, environmentalist, supported laws protecting the coast, the Everglades, and controlling hazardous waste.
Peter Deutsch, family man, always pro-choice, a friend of education, committed to national health care.
Peter Deutsch, Democrat for Congress.
Making a difference for us.
40% off all denim now at Byron's Back to School sale.
Hey, you dropped a J.
There are two kinds of cars. The cars you love to drive and the cars you need to drive. The cars that really handle and the cars that handle the groceries. The cars you don't want to stop driving and the cars that make the stops you need. With standard anti-lock brakes and a 200 horsepower V6, Chevy Lumina Euro 3.4 is two kinds of car for one kind of driver. You. The cars more people depend on. And now it's easy to win with the heartbeat.
I wonder why Mom's taking us back to school shopping.
So you can look good for your girlfriend?
I don't have a girlfriend. I just need new jeans.
Save now on all jeans at Mervyn's, like Levi's, for everyone in the family.
What about Denise?
I don't like Denise.
No, you love her.
You'll love the savings on Lee for women and girls. Plus, save on tons of jeans for everyone.
Oh, Denise, you like my new jeans.
Save on all denim jeans at Mervyn's through Saturday.
We are back. The time right now is 11:29. Kelly Craig along with Tom Randalls.
You know, as if Hurricane Andrew wasn't enough, South Floridians are now having to deal with something else, and that is price gougers. We've talked about this before in our air. Price gougers and con artists. The state apparently right now is investigating complaints of price gouging on lumber in Dade County. That's according to Attorney General Bob Butterworth. And he says they've been told that lumber is being sold for at least twice the amount charged prior to Hurricane Andrew. In fact, I can give you another example of what's going on here. Here's one tale of profiteering. On Wednesday, one northeast Dade County man wanted his driveway cleared of oak trees. The first contractor told him it couldn't be done for less than $3,500, and a second offer came in to do the job at $750. So it's going on out there, folks. And if you were with us earlier, Jack Atherton did a piece, and he sort of told you some of the warning signs you can look for, some of the things to look to be aware of. And some of the signs are things like this. If a contractor demands, say, a large down payment, steer clear of that. Also, if he tells you that the job's going to require a permit or inspection, or he'll only make some verbal agreements, or he can't produce proof of insurance, or will not supply a license number, he may not be licensed to do the work that he's talking about. So you're going to want to make sure that you check some of these people out. I know you might be anxious to get back to normal and make sure that your house is at least being rebuilt, or that your yard's being cleared of trees and debris, but, you know, making perhaps one phone call might help. And I've got a number for you if you want to make sure you can check out some of these people. The number is an 800 number. It's 800-342-7940. Again, 800-342-7940. It's to check out contractors' references before hiring them, and that might help you.
Getting back to the price gouging, earlier tonight, Metro Commissioner Arthur Teal was here, and he is really ticked off about the whole price gouging, especially these people who are coming down from other parts of the state, other parts of the country, setting up a truck and price gouging. And he says that he is giving them a warning right now that if he finds out, if his office is told or calls come into Tallahassee about complaints about price gouging through any of these temporary setups or in any store, he is letting these businesses know right now he is teaming up with other state people, and there's going to be a $10,000 fine levied against these merchants, or possibly having their businesses shut down. So he is taking this very, very seriously. This is not to be taken lightly, and this is not the time to be price gouging. To be taking advantage of people during this is just unconscionable. We realize that a lot of you are just getting your power back, and perhaps you have been following our coverage on Y100 Radio, and you've heard what we've been saying. Perhaps now is the time that you can see the pictures for the first time. Channel 4's Jerry Helfman has been working all day on putting together a montage of some of the sights and sounds in the aftermath of Hurricane Andrew. Let's take a look at that report.
A lot of people have been without power, and we've been trying to be as descriptive as we possibly can to give most of you who had no power an accurate picture of what actually happened. But we do know a lot of you have your power restored right now. So as Kelly said, I've been looking through all the tapes from yesterday and today, and right here we have a look at Metro Zoo. I think this is Metro Zoo. Yeah, you see an elephant there, and you know, this is the place a lot of the keepers used to call paradise. Here we're looking at a row of palm trees there, dozens of palms, laying in the direction that the wind blew, almost as if one big gust just came in and knocked them down. At the Metro Zoo, Ron McGill tells us that surprisingly, most of the animals, the majority of them are healthy. You're looking there at some of the birds from the aviary there that was totally destroyed. There was a lot of endangered birds and plants. The operative word here is the birds that they had, because a lot of the birds are gone. They don't know where they are. But most of the animals, Ron McGill says, survived, and they're healthy, and they're trying to take care of them as best they can. And Ron also says that he believes they're going to be able to make this mess into the wonderful place that it once was. If we can wipe our videotape now, I believe we have another tape to show you of the Black Point Marina. And this is in far South Dade. And this is really ironic, because this is the enclosed marina that so many people took their boats out of the water and brought their boats to, thinking that the boat was going to be safe there. And they're just packed in there like sardines. They're all stacked in there. I think it's 3 or 4 stories high. And, you know, I don't know how many boats were in there, hundreds and hundreds of boats stacked in there. And here, the boats outside of the Black Point Marina surprisingly fared better. There you see a different view of Black Point. All those boats in there, a lot of the walls just flew off, and hundreds and hundreds of boats were lost inside the Black Point Marina. And further on down the coast from Black Point is Turkey Point. And, of course, this is where the eye came through South Florida. And during the storm, there was a 65,000-gallon oil tank that was about half full, that was split open. I think we have pictures of it coming up here. You'll see the black oil everywhere. Well, anyway, fortunately, it was a very big spill, but fortunately it was held, we believe, in the containment area. Not exactly sure what this building is, but it's just very obvious down at Turkey Point that the damage was very extensive down there. And I was telling you that we had some shots of that oil leak there. The towers also, if you look on those smokestacks, they look as if they're cracked. And we were talking to someone from Turkey Point earlier, and they said there was also a lot of damage to those stacks. If you look really close, there's cracks on them. I'm not sure what kind of structural damage there was to those, but in any case, a lot of work to be done down at Turkey Point. Also, fortunately, just a reminder that the nuclear generators had been shut down before the storm. That's a picture of the oil that we were telling you about, a 65,000-gallon oil tank that was about half full. It split open, and I guess that's the purpose of those, those containment areas.
All right, that was recorded earlier from Jerry Helfman. We're going to take a quick break. Time now 11:36, and when we come back, we're going to go to a live report with Ed Odell in Homestead. So please stay with us.
The following is a paid political announcement.
When my baby granddaughter Jenny visits my home, my, what a scene she causes. Sometimes I wonder what kind of world it will be when she grows up.
Just like Maddie, family is important to me. and I care about your future. That's why I vote. Please do the same September 1st.
Take a good look at Lincoln Mercury.
Take a good look at some great values now. Savings like this on Mercury Sable and Mercury Grand Marquis, both equipped with available dual airbags and ABS brakes. Or save on Lincoln Town Car with dual airbags and ABS brakes standard. Savings all before you make your best deal.
Take a good look, we've got your new car ready. Take a good look at Lincoln Mercury.
Universal Studios brings Florida residents super new shows at super low prices. Just $24 for adults, $18 for kids. Find Giant Adventure at Bibles Playland with the wildest kids' water slide anywhere. Rock on with Beetlejuice. See the new Lucy, a tribute. Our all-new Ghostbusters Spooktacular. Join Rocky and Bullwinkle's outrageous new show. Do it all. Only $24 for adults, $18 for kids at Universal Studios, Florida. With 5 times the fun you'll find anywhere.
Just one look, and I knew that you were the only one.
Let your fingers do the walking. All it takes is just one look in the real Yellow Pages.
Just one look, that's all it took.
The real Yellow Pages from Southern Bell.
Get the power of intelligent engineering in a new 92 Olds Achieva for $199 a month. Or in a new 92 Olds 88 Royale, only $299 a month. Or buy it with 2.9% factory financing. If you're not completely satisfied, we'll exchange it. Year-end prices and payments may never be lower at your Sunshine Oldsmobile dealer. Do the smart thing and get here now.
The devastation, the aftermath, a plead for help from an insurance company. Those are some of the scenes, the disturbing scenes from South Dade County where things are slowly, very slowly,
I
getting
believe,
back to normal.
excuse me, Tom, I think Carrie Sanders or Dave Bloom was down there when that family rode on the side of their house, and they said, we have been trying to get through to State Farm for days now, or hours today alone, and couldn't, so they were hoping that an agent would be around, and that's why they wrote on their own home so that they could get some attention. Now you see how desperate people are.
Sure. Well, right now, Channel 4's Ed Odell is standing by live in Homestead, where apparently some folks are camping out in front of their property. Do we have that right, Edwin?
You have that exactly right. And interestingly enough, as you were just talking about the Allstate sign, I saw a Prudential sign on a house just in front of the house that we were just talking about. Now, as you can see behind me, some of the devastation that is still here in Homestead. As you can see, it is very dark out here. It's very quiet. It's very menacing, in fact. As I look around just before we came on the air here, before I came on the air, I can see cars moving up and down Campbell Drive here, and each one of them is some form of security vehicle, either from the National Guard, from the Metro-Dade Police Department, the Highway Patrol, or the Homestead Police Department. So it's quite eerie down here. And out there in that darkness, way back in that pitch, there are a lot of families, a lot of lives that are being tragically turned, that have been tragically turned, and are still taking some tragic turns as we speak, and may do so in the days to come. Well, I went out there with cameraman Jeff Guerra, and here's one of the stories we found. We saw the fire and came over, and we found the Martinez family out here. Irene and Manuel Martinez and 4 children live in this shell of a home. An infant sleeps in what is now a rain-soaked, leaky sweatbox. You can't live in the house? You can't stay in the house?
No, because it's, you know, some of the roof came off, and it's leaking a lot. And, well, everything was destroyed inside.
So the family has moved outside. A little fire is a major comfort these nights since Hurricane Andrew. It's a centerpiece where friends gather to pass the time.
We just sit out here, you know, talk to pass the time on, you know, and just getting nothing better to do. Yeah. It's nothing better to do.
It's better. Yesterday we slept out here.
Yesterday?
Mhm.
What are you going to do tonight? Same thing?
Yeah.
Same thing.
Because it's too hot inside and there's nothing over here. And anyways, if it rains, we're going to get wet, so we'd rather stay out here.
It'd be
You're
a
going to get
shame.
wet inside, too.
Yeah, it's the same.
Yeah, so we'd rather be out here.
Have you thought about how long you might have to be out here doing this?
Yeah, we've thought about it, but it's a long time, you know?
Yeah.
And not that long time, not like we got enough to do everything. We don't have enough. Everything that's being sold right now to repair everything is going twice as much as what it's normally cost.
We don't have insurance in the house, and that's one of the toughest parts because we don't know what's going to happen with us now. We don't have a place to live. We don't have a job. We just don't know where to go.
This is life after Andrew for far too many in South Dade. And some feel even relief efforts are passing them by.
So many people. By the time we get there, everything is gone.
By the time you get there?
Yes. So far, the only thing we have gotten is maybe 3 or 4 gallons of water.
And ironically, that's all they have to look forward to for quite some time. For how long, they don't know, and we don't know either. They don't have any lights. In fact, they ask us to leave our camera light with them. It's very dark. They're just sitting there in their front lawn. Ironically, Manuel Martinez worked as a yard man, but right now, very few people are thinking about having their yards cut when they don't have a home. The family, as they said, they can't get to sometimes the relief stations prior to everything being gone. Yet we still see at this hour, at this very hour, relief caravans rolling through here every now and again. It's part of the horror of living, of trying to live after Hurricane Andrew in South Dade. Back to the studio.
Edwin, you know, we just talked about this a moment ago, and that is price gouging. And you just had an interview with one young man who said everything costs twice as much. It's not right. That's just not right.
It's just not right. I hate to say this, but it seems to be somewhat of the American way. It's an awful way to think, but you know, we saw the other day some people buying water for ice for $1 a bag, and then turning around and yelling 50 bucks, 50 bucks. On the way down here, I saw people selling generators. And I was over at Home Depot before Hurricane Andrew hit, before it even became a hurricane. And I saw it for like maybe $200 or $300 less than I saw coming down here. It's something that people have to put up with. It's one of those supply and demand things. At other times, it's okay. Right now, it's a horrible thing to think.
Ed, the family that you spoke with, did they have transportation?
Well, the family, they have transportation as a network, a group of people that come and go. That is one of the problems that they alluded to, and we've heard other people talk about down here today.
Well, Ed, let me suggest this. You know, the folks are saying we have nowhere to go, we have nowhere to get this food. Earlier tonight, we talked with the shelter manager at Carroll City High School, and get this, he says that Carroll City and the crews there are ready to house up to 2,000 people. He said they're fully stocked with food, water, they have showers, they have 24-hour police protection, and he said while they have facilities for 2,000 people, only 50 people are there. Well, and he's actually disheartened because he said, come on, I see these people who are in devastation, and they say they have nowhere to go, and we're sitting here with open arms.
Let me ask you this. Did you say Carroll City?
Carroll City High School.
Okay, that's on the other end of Dade County from these people. And let me explain something to you. I talked to the Martinez family about where they go, what they do during the day. What they do, two things they do. They spend most of the day trying to clean out their house. It's still a mess inside. The other thing they do is they don't leave their house alone. Somebody has to stay there constantly to make sure that the scavengers don't come through and rip everything off. I'm not making an excuse for people that they have to travel from this end of the county all the way to the other end of the county, but they're going to lose what few possessions they have if they take their entire family. Mr. Martinez would have to stay. Someone would have to stay. Who wants to stay out there alone? It's a catch-22 any way you look at it.
Ed, another question for you before we'll let you go. That has to do with the sanitary conditions. We saw the condition of the roof. It's hot, it's sweaty in the house that you just showed us. Probably bugs, insects, mosquitoes, and everything else. Aren't those family members concerned about those things? as well?
They're concerned about, exactly, the very basics of life. You saw an infant, a newborn, in the middle of a couch that is probably still soaked with water at the bottom of it, in a house that nobody wants to live in. They'd rather sleep outside and get bitten by the bugs, which will probably be in the house anyway. It's something that we cannot imagine that we would have to go through, Tom. Except for the grace of God, it could be us sitting there.
All right, Ed Odell, live in Homestead, with another sad and sobering story for us.
And it is so sad, too, because, as we said, these facilities are available. And if they have, you know, at least one person in the neighborhood who could shuttle some of these people up, if it's not just to sit down for a minute and get away from the situation, have a meal, get a shower, get your thoughts together a little bit, make sure the baby is being taken care of, they may want to think about that. And if it means leaving, you know, one of the people out there or two of the people out there for one night and the rest of the family goes and get help and get sanitary conditions taken care of, that kind of thing, they may want to think about doing that, because, as I said, the facilities are there and they're ready and waiting for you. So if you can, take advantage of them.
You know, getting back to that point, and it's something that we've been talking about all day long, those folks perhaps wouldn't have to worry about leaving somebody behind if there were adequate protection for the homes. If there were adequate protection for the homes, perhaps, you know, more National Guard troops or local police officers making sure that the neighborhoods are secure, those folks wouldn't have to worry about staying behind and living in those kind of conditions for them.
It's truly sad. But one of the things we are doing to try to help make the conditions better, Channel 4 is teaming up with Y100, and as you probably know, we have organized a food drive in connection with the Daily Bread Food Bank.
Quite well.
It's going very well. We want to keep the momentum going. Joining us now is Kathleen Muldoon, and she is a volunteer with the Relief Drive. Kathleen, how is it going?
Hi, Kelly. Hi, Tom. We have a fantastic effort going on at Coral Square Mall in Coral Springs. I believe 9 trailer trucks were sent down today.
Wow.
Now, the Daily Food Bank,
Daily Bread Food Bank,
we understood was being inundated. So the Coral Springs Police Department got a hold of Metro-Dade, and at about 9 o'clock tonight, we sent a caravan with uniformed escorts down to the Metro-Dade Center, where they have Fraternal Order of Police volunteers unloading and helping to distribute.
Okay, Kathleen, as you continue, we want to ask the folks upstairs to, as we're talking, please put up the distribution sites and also the sites that are collection centers in the mall. Kathleen, what are the items that are most needed at this point?
Sealed water, but there isn't a lot around. We hear as far even as Jupiter stores are cleared out. So anything liquid that won't perish, Gatorade, Snapple, anything that isn't open that people can drink. Any supplies for infants, and that includes clothing, diapers, blankets. We can wear the same clothes for days at a time, but those infants need it badly. And, of course, canned food items and can openers and things to get to them. The things like food and toys and furniture can wait. We've got such a great response. But the most critical things.
Right. Kathleen, you had mentioned that you all are inundated, which is a pleasant inundation, I'm sure, with things that the people are bringing in. What about getting them out to the people? You said that you had all these trucks going down there. Has that been a problem?
Not at all. We had businesses driving by this morning at 7, 8 o'clock volunteering their trucks. And as a matter of fact, we'd like to request that any North Broward or South Palm Beach County companies that have tractor trailers or small closed trucks who would like to take part, we're doing another escorted caravan, escorted by off-duty Coral Springs police officers Thursday night and another one Friday night.
Where should they go?
To the south parking lot of the Coral Square Mall, which is in Coral Springs, west of I-95 on Atlantic Boulevard.
All right, terrific. Kathleen Muldoon, thank you very much. Thank you for helping to organize this effort. And we also want to thank all of the wonderful, wonderful people who have gone to these malls and donated whatever they can.
Thank
Kathleen?
you. And Kelly, can I add one thing, please?
Very quickly, because we're running out of time.
If any ice companies have ice companies, we have refrigerated trucks. They can call 344-1800. Only ice companies with massive quantities, and we can get those down to the people same day.
All right.
Keep up the good work,
Thank
Kathleen.
Thank you, Kathleen. And that's going to wrap up things for us tonight. We thank you so much for sticking with us, and we're going to continue to provide live coverage tomorrow beginning at 6 a.m. Right after we get off the air, we are going to be rebroadcasting our coverage during the day. We leave you right now with some sights and sounds from South Dade and home videographer Joseph Fagan. Good night.
Good night, everybody.
Right now we're sustaining probably about 140 mile an hour winds. We're losing the tiles off the top of the roof. We are losing the tiles off the top of the roof. I'm just checking to make sure everything else is all right. God, please let the windows stay. You can see the door is soaking wet. Come on. Nikki, quiet, you're okay. Nikki! We're in the closet now. We're losing the roof. The roof is peeling off. I looked outside the backyard. The entire fencing is gone. Everything is blown across the street. Right now, we're just praying that the windows and everything hold. And we're in the closet right now, just praying. So hopefully everything's going to be okay. If the structure stays okay and the windows are right, we'll be okay. But those winds are gusting up to 150 right now. We got the radio on. We're listening to the reports. Listen. That was another brick off the top. We're losing all the tiles on the roof. Hopefully she ain't gonna leak. That's the scary part. Okay.
Good morning. It's 6:30 in the morning right now. We are in the second bathroom. We still think that we're gonna stay here. The rest of the house is absolutely gone. The windows, the doors. At least we hear Nikki and we know that she's safe. There is a big flood in here. There is coming water all over the place. But we think that here in the bathtub with all the cushions and the bath curtain that is plastic in case anything happens, we're gonna be just fine. We think that at this time in the morning, the worst part is gone. But we're still having winds 85 miles per hour. We are gonna be very lucky tomorrow if we stay alive. This has been the most scary thing that you can imagine.
So you know it.
We are very lucky that we choose this bathroom to be in because the rest of the house is gone.
Well, here we are. It's 7:50, almost 8 o'clock in the morning. Total devastation. We're all in shock. It hasn't hit us yet. But take a look at that. That was a backyard. This is the only room, the master bedroom, that's halfway decent shape. We lost the entire house. Oh, God. This here is the visitor's room. The wind is still blowing, as you can see. I want you to know that people that bought it up, it didn't help. This is our living room. This was our living room. There's the roof. Looks like we're having everything constructed again. All the windows blew in. The negative pressure was incredible. Our ears were popping like you wouldn't believe. At least we survived that. Just go into the kitchen, the family room. This is incredible. Total devastation. TV, stereo, VCR. So, there was no way of choosing which was a dry room, which was a safe room. It just took what it wanted to. It actually took the door frame off. See the garage. What's left of it, I should say. All my shelving is down. Garage door. Cars seem to be okay. Seem to be in good shape. Although, Jesus, there's pieces of tiles in here that came through like projectiles. So hopefully, it looks like all the windows are intact. Prepare yourself for this. It's still very windy. It's gusting up to probably 50, 60 miles an hour still. Thank you, Andrew. You came and you went to our house. You can see holes, total devastation. I don't even see some of the homes down there. Some of the destruction caused by Mr. Andrew. This is right down the block from the house. Figure this one out. How you doing? Incredible. Okay, here's the after effects of the damage. As you can see, all the budding and tiles are gone. All the landscaping is gone. There's our little sign to Andrew there. And also, I put a little note on the ceiling there, Allstate. Please help, and I gave the phone number. So hopefully if they see us from the air, they can contact us there.
You've seen the pictures of devastation. You know people are homeless. You know people are hungry. Now, here's your chance to help. Do you have hurricane supplies that you didn't use? Channel 4 News and Y100 will be collecting your unused supplies at these locations and taking them to South Floridians hit hardest by the storm. Bring what you can. Bring all you can, especially water and food. And to find out about other ways that you can help, stay with us. Channel 4 News.
Mitsubishi presents a luxury lease program whose greatest luxury is choice. The elegant Diamante LS, the sensational 3000 GTSL, the rugged Montero SR. Your choice, just $399 a month for 36 months. Difficult choice, easy terms, with a luxury lease from Mitsubishi. Make your choice at your Dade Broward Mitsubishi Motors dealer today.
To save money on a home loan, you can buy a smaller home, make a bigger down payment, or call Savings of America, and we'll show you 3 ways to save. Say you want to borrow $150,000. We have loans that can lower your payments as much as $345 a month in the first critical years, or save you an average of $2,600 in upfront costs, or as much as $121,000 in interest. So to save money on a home loan, call Savings of America, or buy a house in a less expensive area.
I wonder why Mom's taking us back to school shopping.
So you can look good for your girlfriend?
I don't have a girlfriend. I just need new jeans.
Save now on all jeans at Mervyn's, like Levi's, for everyone in the family.
What about Denise?
I don't like Denise.
No, you love her.
You'll love the savings on Lee for women and girls. Plus, save on tons of jeans for everyone.
Oh, Denise, you like my new jeans?
Save on all denim jeans at Mervyn's through Saturday.
Call this toll-free number now to receive a vacation value discount book free during Kissimmee St. Cloud's Great Fall Winter Getaway. Stay right in the heart of Central Florida's attractions. Save on hotels, dining, and tickets to Walt Disney World's Magic Kingdom, Epcot Center, Disney MGM Studios, as well as SeaWorld, Watermania, and Universal Studios Florida. Call 1-800-992-KISS today and receive a free coupon book and save on your Kissimmee St. Cloud Great Fall Winter Getaway.
Get the power of intelligent engineering in a new 92 Olds Achieva for $199 a month. Or in a new 92 Olds 88 Royale, only $299 a month. Or buy it with 2.9% factory financing. If you're not completely satisfied, we'll exchange it. Year-end prices and payments may never be lower at your Sunshine Oldsmobile dealer. Do the smart thing and get here now.
The Team to Watch, weekdays at 6 on Channel 4 News.
Okay, Hank, thanks very much. And joining us now is Florida's Republican U.S. Senator Connie Mack, and I suppose seeing is believing.
It is. I flew over the base yesterday by helicopter, and you certainly got a good visual, but being on the ground and going up to those buildings and seeing the total destruction of them is somewhat overwhelming.
Yeah, that's the question now. What's going to happen to the base? Are they going to rebuild, or are they going to just level the place?
Nobody really knows the answer to that. I spoke both to Secretary Rice yesterday, Secretary of the Air Force, to General McPeak, who was down yesterday to view the base. The general said to me that he has drawn no conclusion. He's going to approach this with an open mind. I would say that's an encouraging statement after what people have seen. But as all bases around the country are under pressure, this base would have been looked at in the next Base Closure Commission series of decisions anyway. Clearly, it's going to be there again.
Obviously, there's tremendous destruction there. Is anything salvageable out of that? I mean, sometimes
you can't tell from television. Like the tower, is any part of it reusable or fixable?
Yes, there is some of it that's reusable, but the tower, you know, all the glass. I mean, this just.
But glass can be replaced. So structurally, does it have to?
Structurally, I would guess that the tower's okay, but that's a guess. And again, the one building where we saw the F-16s that were blown out of, supposedly built for hurricane specifications. You heard the last comment that the colonel thought that he very well could die. That's in a building that was constructed to withstand what hit it. And so there really is a serious question as to whether how much, if any, is really usable out there at this point.
Are you satisfied with the number of National Guard troops that are down in that area? We understand at this point there are over 3,000. Are you comfortable with that? Do you feel that it's enough?
Well, I'm not qualified really to make a determination about what the proper number is. I can tell you one place where we stopped on the way back. I went in and talked to a family that was taking some of the things out of their house, the refrigerators and overhead fans and so forth. And by the way, let me throw this in. What she said to me was, if I hadn't heard on television and on radio about moving into a hallway, my family probably would have been killed the night of the. I mean, she literally said, the house started to kind of shake and things exploded. And she, as she heard that, she heard on television that the safest place is to move to the hallway. So I want you guys to know that you really did save some people's lives out there.
If you can hang around for a minute, we're going to show you a replay tape of a caller that came in during the hurricane, actually during the middle of it, and I vaguely remember it in the midst of all that going on. I certainly remember the call. We'll get to that in a minute, because I wanted to ask you another question about, so what was you going to say about security that prompted you to?
Well, right across the street was a military, I don't know, which unit or what, but they were so thankful of seeing this person across the street, the sense of security for them. And of course, later on, at one of the emergency stations in the South, police station, there were 3 individuals who had come in having had no food or water since last night. You could almost sense, I mean, they were really in shock. And the reason that they had not left their home to go find food and water is because they were concerned about what was going to happen to their belongings. And so there clearly is the concern about whether there's sufficient security, and it's one that really is a serious question, ought to be pursued.
We hear that constantly, and the concern I think that we have and that a lot of people have is that the priority of the National Guard, as they have been directed, it's not their decision, obviously, where they go, is the commercial businesses. And we have these people down here in these homes that probably aren't safe and no way to get the stuff out because the roads are blocked. I mean, it's a tremendous dilemma for them, and they are afraid to leave. And we see looting in destroyed trailer parks that look destroyed from the air, but when you get close up, no doubt you can go through every single one of those and find belongings that are important to those people.
Well, one of the messages I want to take from going out today is kind of the catch-22 that you've touched on. If all of the forces, if you will, are focused on the commercial, and people can't leave their houses because they're concerned that those are going to be looted, it's a real difficulty, and it seems that we've got to find some way to provide some security for both.
Well, whatever you can do, I can still assure you, I keep saying this, you and I talked about this last night. I know you were on the telephone last night when we talked about the need for security in those residential areas to allow these people and just give them a sense that someone cares about their problems down there. I think that would help turn that around a lot.
Absolutely.
If you can stick around for a second, giving your comment, should we go ahead and play this?
Let's do that. This was pretty amazing. As most of you know who listen to us either on Y100 or watch the television broadcast on Sunday night and early into Monday morning, what we did during the storm as Brian was tracking Andrew on radar, we, Tony Segreto, you, myself, we got into a cement little storage room right behind the set here. And we took some of your calls, and one of them was from a woman by the name of Madeline.
And it was right in the middle of the storm, and things were starting to come apart. And this is the way I play this, and then I'll tell you what else happened at the same time.
A window broke in one of the rooms, and the door is closed, and they're trying to hold the door back because it looks like it was all going to cave in.
All right, that's what you need to do. You need to do everything you can to hold that door in, Madeline. And you all get all your might behind that, because you need to stay in that enclosed room there and not allow that in. Those interior doors are not made to withstand it. What's going on now?
No, we're in the bathroom. My father and my brother-in-law are holding the door.
All right, well, as many people as you can get on that door, you need to do that, because you are going to experience this intense storm for a good while longer. So do the best you can do to give them as much help as you can there, because it is not over for you folks in Kendall. What part of Kendall are you in, Madeline?
On 156th Avenue and 74th Street.
All right, so you're, okay, you're way out west, right? It's about Chrome Avenue, almost to Chrome Avenue, right? Well, again, I'm sure you're listening to us on the radio, are you not?
Huh?
Do you just have radio there? Is your power out there?
Yeah, we have no, we have no power.
Right, so you're listening to us on Y100. Well, the folks that are able to see Channel 4 can clearly see what is hitting you right now, and it's the top side of the semicircle. You see the orange in there above the eye. The eye, folks, is moving into the Everglades. The eye is passing by, but the core winds around the eye are still affecting the Kendall area. I suspect that maybe Kerry Sanders has finally gotten some relief up there. But Madeline, I would say that you folks in Kendall are going to be under this for at least another half hour.
Okay.
Okay?
Madeline, you sound very frightened. You've got your family with you. Stick together.
Okay.
All right, and it is very important that you hold that door in, and maybe you can help, you know, whatever you can do there. How many people are in there with you, Madeline?
5.
All right, well, do you have some children in there as well?
No, but my sister's pregnant.
All right, well, maybe we'll let your sister rest, but you need to do whatever you can, because there's going to be a lot of effort needed. You're going to have very, very severe conditions there for an extended time to come. Okay, Madeline?
Okay.
All right, we wish you the best of luck.
All right, thank you.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Brian, it looks to me that, and I think maybe Kelly asked you this when I took a little break, that yellow band that we see.
At the same time that Madeline was facing that, we come to find out through many phone calls that have come in here in the last couple of days that there were other people in the same situation, locked in their bathrooms, trying to hold the door closed, or in closets under the mattress. And what Madeline's call did, and this was just totally one of those things, is it told people that were listening that other people were in the same exact situation. Because most people, the natural thing is, they're doing it to me. The storm is doing it to me. And they found out that it wasn't, and I think a little extra effort to hold that door closed and make it through, and indeed they did make it through.
Let me, if I could, just make a quick comment on that, because what that was is really a message to hope, to a lot to people. Right. And one of the other things that I saw again today was a water company, a Carolina water company, showed up at down in South Miami with, I think, hundreds of gallons of water that the company said, let's just sit down, those people are going to need it. And I think, you know, that sends a message of hope to people. And I think that's a very important phase that we're in now, that there are people who are very concerned about them and care about them, are going to do their level best to get those resources to them.
And you're right, it's turning that corner that we need to do here. I was going to say, I got a call this morning from somebody I knew, as a matter of fact, and he was in a similar situation with his mother, and they thought they were going to die, to the point that they drained the water from the bathtub, because the next alternative we gave them was to lie down in the bathtub and put a mattress over them. And they had the mattress ready, you know, but the door had come off the hinges in Country Walk, and Country Walk home, come off the hinges, and they were there just trying to hold that door in place. And Madeline was the one that inspired them to stay behind that door.
Yeah, but you were the one who told her what to do, and you were the one who deserves the credit, Brian Norcross.
And again, the message from this lady was that if I had not heard that, and she was listening on the radio by then because the television, she said if I had not heard that, we very well could have been killed. So that's a direct comment from some people out in the...
Well, we would really very much like to hear from Madeline as well, just to know how. I'm sure we would know if she didn't make it, so we were sure she made it, and their family made it. But we would like to hear from Madeline, because we certainly are glad that she had the inspiration to call. And to reinforce what you said, I think from us sitting here in relatively in good shape here in downtown Miami, is that business of getting the sense that we've turned the corner down for those folks in South Dade is what's so critical, and that's why having the security, I just think it is just as critical as it can be, at least in the short term. You know, I don't think we need more security down there in the long term. It just seems to me in the short term we need it so badly. Yeah. So whatever you can do to get in the governor's ear, you know, to maybe get a little more National Guard or whatever we can do here temporarily. Let me ask you, I have to ask one more question, because someone asked an awfully good question. If we can get 500,000 troops into Iraq in almost no time, why can't we get supplies and things we need into South Dade in a matter of 3 days? I mean, why is that so hard?
This is just off the top of my head.
Okay.
You asked that off the top of your head.
But you represent the United States
My
government.
response is that the environment where we were taking those resources was all prepared to accept them.
Okay.
What you've got here is a situation where whatever was here to accept it was destroyed along with everything else. So what's taking place here is trying to put back in the infrastructure to accept the resources. That's, I think, a very fundamental difference between the two.
The distribution is obviously, we have collective warehouses of food for these people in South Dade, and it's the distribution. But as someone I heard on the radio earlier today called and said it seems like the Army has this mechanism in place to run convoys into places and distribute things. I don't know. Again, I understand it's not a simple problem. We don't want to simplify the problem. It's a massive, unprecedented problem to handle this in South Dade County. So whatever you can do to get the security people in there, to give people confidence and hope, as you say, I think would be very appreciated.
Very good. We're going to keep after it.
Thank you, Connie Mack, for being with us tonight.
Thank you.
Senator?
We're going to take a break. It is now 6:22. When we come back, Dade County Commissioner Arthur Teal, and we're going to be talking about price gouging with him. So stick around. We'll be right back.
Hottest. Good. Great. Cool. Yes. Do it.
I wonder why Mom's taking us back to school shopping.
So you can look good for your girlfriend?
I don't have a girlfriend. I just need new jeans.
Save now on all jeans at Mervyn's, like Levi's, for everyone in the family.
What about Denise?
I don't like Denise.
No, you love her.
You'll love the savings on Lee for women and girls. Plus, save on tons of jeans for everyone.
Oh, Denise, you like my new jeans?
Save on all denim jeans at Mervyn's through Saturday.
Introducing the grand opening of Lakes Lincoln Mercury. That's right, Lakes Lincoln Mercury on the Palmetto Expressway at the Northwest 57th Avenue exit. Hi, everybody. Joel Hamilton here with outstanding values on the entire Lincoln Mercury line. Here's a brand new 1992 Mercury Grand Marquis. It's just $16,892. $16,892 with factory air, tilt wheel, cruise control, power steering, windows, and more. At Lakes Lincoln Mercury on the Palmetto Expressway at the Northwest 57th Avenue exit.
The following is a paid political announcement.
Being in the armed forces really taught me a lot about myself and how to handle responsibility. It also taught me that exercising an individual right to vote is the most important freedom we have.
Just like Darrell, I serve my country. I still do, every time I vote. You do the same. Vote September 1st.
We are back, Brian Norcross along with Kelly Craig. It is now 6:25, and joining us now in our newsroom is Art Teal, Dade County Commissioner. Art, can you give us any insight into the distribution problem that we're having? We certainly are having a lot of donations. The problem is getting the food, getting the supplies to the people who need it.
The distribution problem is a very real problem. We spoke with the FEMA, the Federal Emergency people that are down, who indicated that the biggest problem that they saw in Hugo was the distribution. In response to that, we have